নমস্কার, আপনারা দেখছেন কড়া খবর। এখন কড়া খবর ইন্দো আমেরিকান চেম্বার অফ কমার্স আয়োজিত ইন্দো আমেরিকান ইকোনমিক রিলেশনস নাও অ্যান্ড লুকিং ফরওয়ার্ড বিষয়ক আলোচনা সভা 17ই আগস্ট কলকাতার একটি অভিজাত হোটেলে আইএসসিসি এবং ইন্দো আমেরিকান চেম্বার অফ কমার্সের উদ্যোগে হয়ে গেল ইন্দো ইউএস ইকোনমিক রিলেশনস নাও অ্যান্ড লুকিং ফরওয়ার্ড শীর্ষক এক আলোচনা সভা, যেখানে ভারতবর্ষ এবং আমেরিকা দুই দেশের প্রধান প্রধান ইস্যুগুলি নিয়ে আলোচনা হয় এবং কিভাবে একে অপরের প্রতি হাত বাড়িয়ে দিয়ে দুই দেশের সম্পর্ক আরও ঘনিষ্ঠ হয় সেই বিষয়গুলির উপরও আলোকপাত করা হয়। একবিংশ শতাব্দীর প্রধান ইস্যু ব্যবসা, প্রতিরক্ষা, আবহাওয়া, টেকনোলজি, শিক্ষা এবং স্বাস্থ্য এই বিষয়ে বিভিন্ন স্বনামখ্যাত আলোচকদের নিয়ে প্যানেল ডিসকাশনও হয়। আলোচনা সভায় স্বাগত ভাষণ দেন ইআইসি রিজিওনাল প্রেসিডেন্ট অধ্যাপক ডক্টর সুজয় বিশ্বাস। কিনোট স্পিচ দেন আইএসসিসির ন্যাশনাল প্রেসিডেন্ট ডক্টর ললিত ভাসিন। প্রধান অতিথি হিসেবে উপস্থিত ছিলেন ইউএসের কনসুলেট জেনারেল মিলিন্দা পাভেক। এছাড়া সম্মানিত অতিথি হিসেবে উপস্থিত ছিলেন পশ্চিমবঙ্গ সরকারের প্রধান অর্থনৈতিক উপদেষ্টা ডক্টর অমিত মিত্র। এদিন টেকনিক্যাল সেশনে এডুকেশন এবং হেলথ বিষয়ে আলোচনায় অংশ নেন ডক্টর সুমন মুখার্জি, অধ্যাপিকা ডক্টর সুরভি ব্যানার্জি, পশ্চিমবঙ্গ সরকারের শিক্ষা সচিব ডক্টর সুব্রত গুপ্ত এবং ইআইসি রিজিওনাল প্রেসিডেন্ট অধ্যাপক ডক্টর সুজয় বিশ্বাস। এছাড়া ক্লাইমেট ও এমএসএমই নিয়ে আলোচনায় অংশ নেন আর.কে. ছাজের, চেয়ারপারসন এফআইসিসিআই এমএসএমই স্টেট কমিটি ওয়েস্ট বেঙ্গল এবং চেয়ারম্যান ARCVAC, মিস্টার পঙ্কজ ভোরা, পশ্চিমবঙ্গ সরকারের প্রাক্তন মুখ্য বনপাল ডক্টর অতনু রাহা এবং ইআইসি রিজিওনাল প্রেসিডেন্ট ও সিইও টেকনো ইন্ডিয়া ইউনিভার্সিটি অধ্যাপক ডক্টর সুজয় বিশ্বাস। এদিন আলোচনা সভা শেষে সাংবাদিকদের প্রশ্নের উত্তরে কি বললেন ইউএসের কনসুলেট জেনারেল মিলিন্দা পাভেক, তাই শুনুন এখন।
So the U.S.-India partnership is instrumental in enhancing peace, building prosperity, helping to save our planet, and bringing our peoples to a more wonderful future. And that's what we're doing through organizations like the Indo-American Chamber of Commerce, now and into the future. Thank you.
মিলিন্দা পাভেকের পর আমরা চলে যাব এদিন আইএসসিসির ন্যাশনাল প্রেসিডেন্ট ডক্টর ললিত ভাসিন কি বললেন তাই শুনতে।
आगे के रिलेशन तो और भी ज़्यादा मजबूत होंगे। हमारी जो दोनों कंट्रीज हैं वर्ल्ड की लार्जेस्ट सबसे बड़ी डेमोक्रेसीज हैं जो कि रूल ऑफ लॉ में बिलीव करती है। इसीलिए हमारा साथ साथ चलना सिर्फ इन दो कंट्रीज़ के लिए ज़रूरी नहीं है, सारी दुनिया के लिए ज़रूरी है, क्योंकि ये हमारी वर्ल्ड की कोई 1/3 पॉपुलेशन को रिप्रेजेंट करती है दोनों कंट्रीज। इसीलिए पिछले 8-10 साल में बहुत ज़्यादा प्रोग्रेस हुई है। हमारे रिलेशनशिप जो है यूएस के साथ सिर्फ ट्रेड और कॉमर्स में ही नहीं, डिफेंस में कितना कोऑपरेशन आपस में हुआ है, फाइट टेररिज्म को फाइट करने में कितना आपस में कोऑपरेशन हुआ है, हेल्थ केयर में, एजुकेशन में, कल्चरल रिलेशनशिप में कितनी इम्प्रूवमेंट हुई है। तो ये इम्प्रूवमेंट जो है अब ये तो है नहीं कि यहाँ पे आके फुल स्टॉप हो जाता है, नहीं, ये तो एक कॉमा है, इसके बाद और आगे रिलेशनशिप बढ़ती जाएगी। It is bound to increase more in future with the Prime Minister going, you see, to US. The US President now coming to India G20 में सितंबर में वो भी आ रहे हैं G20 में पार्टिसिपेट करने के लिए along with other world leaders। और इस तरीके से जो शो करता है इंडिया और यूएस एक बहुत अच्छा इनका रिलेशनशिप आगे होगा और भी मजबूत होगा और भी आपस में इकट्ठा होगा।
এবার আমরা শুনব ডক্টর সুজয় বিশ্বাস কি বললেন।
We are running out of time. I'll just restrict my statement in a couple of minutes or 3 or 4 minutes. In front of the august guests, we are present Professor Dr. Shuman Mukherjee, who had been a professor in the management college, Professor Dr. Surabhi Banerjee, who had been Vice Chancellors, founding Vice Chancellors of 3 to 4 universities. I had the privilege of interviewing him in a number of in my platform, a motivational talk show that is around for 7.5 years. Mr. Subrata Gupta, the Additional Chief Secretary, there's nothing more left to say. But on this platform, I'd like to clear a perception. I keep on saying that perception is reality, but perception is not reality. As the regional president of East India Council, Indo-American Chamber of Commerce, the perception is that nothing is happening in Bengal and Bengal is just falling apart. No, it's not like that. In the morning itself, Dr. Amit Mitra said that we are the 4th largest economy in the country of India. So we are doing good, we'll do better, and we'll rise to the top, and the top. That's one statement I want to make. Then the second is, we handled the pandemic COVID like anything. Our institution, Techno India Group, was responsible through its medical division to give vaccinations to thousands and thousands of people. We bought vaccinated people, the cost of which amounts to about around 20 crores of Indian rupees. So we are, when it comes, difficult time comes, Bengal puts its foot together to make the health happen. As far as education is concerned, definitely what Mr. Gupta said, we have to take care of the midday meal and the health and nutrition of the students. But Bengal is doing good, Bengalis are doing good, institutions are doing good, our students are doing good, traveling to all parts of the globe. The new education policy 2020, which has come after 35 long years, has set a paradigm shift in the field of education. Now we can have credit banks. Now you can have functional people like Mr. Gupta who can switch on to as a professor with his number of experience, which would level the gap between the functional needs and the academic needs. At the same time, you have credit banks, you can pause your education for some time. I am not sure about the mother language part, how education in mother language can serve, because most of the books in most of the streams are in English. So in accepting that part, we will be doing great work. We are promoting universities abroad, universities of repute to come to our country and to our state. With the new ministry from 2011, we have 17 new universities which has housed thousands and thousands of people and verticals stretching from engineering, commerce, maths, education and even fine arts. So we have all the possibilities of happening over here. I'm very proud to be from this part of the country. I keep on saying that সোনার বাংলা কোনো রাজনৈতিক দল নেতা নেত্রী করবেন না, সোনার বাংলা করবে আপনার আমার মতো সোনার বাঙালি। আসুন হাতে হাত ধরি, সোনার বাংলা করি, হাতে হাত ধরি, সোনার বাংলা। We don't have much time, but at the same time I'm very confident that we are going to the top and the top. And I keep on uttering Vajpayee is one of these charities. I'm not being political when I say it, but at the same time I believe that we can do. And I keep on saying in all the platforms, and I will conclude with that. It says that I quote, मुट्ठी में कुछ सपने लेकर भरकर जीव में आशाएं, मुट्ठी में कुछ सपने लेकर भरकर जीव में आशाएं, दिल में है तमन्ना मेरी कुछ कर जाए, दिल में है तमन्ना मेरी कुछ कर जाए, सूरज सब तेज नहीं मुझ में, दीपक से जलता देखोगे, अपने हद रोशन करने से तुम कब तक मुझको रोकोगे, तुम कब तक।
প্রফেসর ডক্টর সুরভি ব্যানার্জি কি বললেন তাই শুনবো এবার।
Organized by the Indo-American Chamber of Commerce. First of all, I'd like to extend my sincere thanks to Dr. Lalith Basin, the National President of the IACC, and especially to Dr. Sujay Biswas, the President of this regional IACC, for giving me an opportunity for sharing some of my own thoughts. I reiterate, I stress, my own thoughts and ideas with this distinguished audience. Let me spell out at the very outset in unequivocal terms that it's not going to be a theoretical address to the problems already recounted very thoroughly by the moderator, Dr. Suman Mukherjee. It's a vast topic and it deserves the treatment not one day, even for a week. But I'll be very brief, just touching on some of the points in my own way. And I should confess in the beginning that this is not really going to be an abstract, sort of treatise on education, but I have actually gathered, gleaned, and learned in the process of over nearly 40 years in the trajectory of higher education and education at all levels in our country and in the world. So all my ideas and thoughts which are present here this afternoon do emanate from my first-hand experience and, within quotes, encounter with higher education at all levels.
পশ্চিমবঙ্গ সরকারের এডুকেশন সেক্রেটারি ডক্টর সুব্রত গুপ্ত কি বললেন তাই শুনবো এবার।
Education field, it would probably not be appropriate to pass comments on how the structure is working. But I would like to share a couple of my experiences which will sort of focus on the issues which we face at the field level, especially in the rural areas. Sometimes our worldview is influenced heavily by what we see around us in the cities and in the more endowed schools and hospitals, but we do not often recognize the hardship and the problem people face in the extremely backward rural parts of the country. When I was in a district in North Bengal, I visited a fairly remote school in a village. It had 2 rooms and there were about 15 or 20 odd children playing around. There were no teachers. Because I had traveled in a government car, immediately a lot of people from the village, they gathered around me and they said that, sir, so I asked them, what do you want for this school? What is it that you could do for this school? They had only one demand. They said, sir, can you ensure that the teacher attends the school? There's only one teacher in that school. Teacher attends the school at least for 7 or 8 days in a month. That was their prayer. The reason is, I came to know that this teacher came to the school only once a month to collect his salary. And the reason the parents wanted the teacher to come is that the children would then not be naughty and not be playing around, so that they are kept in the school for those few hours. So it was not education, it was simply a matter of convenience for the parents. So
এদিন উপস্থিত ডক্টর সুমন মুখার্জি কি বললেন তাই শুনবো এখন।
Becoming and striving, these are the 3 salient points that she did stress on, among the other things. And Swami Vivekananda talks about the 3 essentials of success is purity, patience, and perseverance. So that's just a new language she used, but I think it's on the same strength. What we need to be is sincere. What we need to do is observe, and to use the Hindi word, lage raho. You cannot give up. But for that you need the mental strength. For that you need vitality. And something which is very close to education, there's a Latin word for that, mens sana in corpore sane. Only a strong mind can give you, a strong body can give you a strong mind. How can you do that without health? How can you have good education when people are suffering from malnutrition? When we overstress the ability to think rather than the physical exertion to reach? Can you imagine we do not get in the Olympics any gold medal in team events? Can you imagine we do not have in such a large country any team that can play in the world for football team? Something has gone wrong with our physical sense. And this is closely related to corruption. And health is so important, so vital, not just midday meals. You have schools without playgrounds. So what is the lesson we are giving to our people? This is the
মিস্টার আর কে ছাজের কি বললেন তাই শুনবো এখন।
Sectors become the front of the industrialization in the country, and industrialization we will have to do because we are generating almost 100,000 students every year. No, 1 crore students every year who are coming out of the universities for employment. So for us, MSME is a must, and I'll tell you why. The reason being that in case of large industries, there is a lot of capital expenditure that takes place in getting back machinery, so the employability of the men becomes low. So that is not good for our country. And more often than not, MSME is a sector which doesn't require a lot of technological input, because there are always the large industries who are there to support the small industries, which is MSME. Coming to our country in India, the focus for the last 2 years has been very much there that we need to develop our MSME sector. And the present dispensation at the central level, central government, they have come out with very nice new schemes where the finances are made available to the MSME sector without any collaterals or without any guarantee. The scheme is called CGTMSE, by way of which one can draw up to 2 crore of rupees from the bank with no collaterals to be provided. Having said so, MSME in our country is only about 30% of the total contribution to the GDP, whereas in developed nations like Germany and USA, the two nations that comes to my mind, it will almost be 50%.
পশ্চিমবঙ্গ সরকারের প্রাক্তন মুখ্য বনপাল ডক্টর অতনু রাহা কি বললেন তাই শুনবো এবার।
Heartfelt thanks also to President of Indo-American Chamber of Commerce, Dr. Lalit Wasim. Then, of course, Mr. R.K. Chajjar, who is the Vice President of this chamber, and then Mr. Pankaj Bora, present here. In fact, it's a topic which is really, it has drawn the attention of the whole world. As you know, during our childhood, I'll just give a very brief background. During our childhood, when we studied in schools or even in colleges also, we never bothered about environment. We have been basically seized with the modern developments, we have been seized with the development of the space science, in the field of computer science, all the technological innovations. It was basically a fallout of the Industrial Revolution, which has started almost 260 years back. But if we really look back in the history of this world and the human civilization, we find that almost 13.8 billion years ago, that means 1,380 crores years ago, through a process of Big Bang, the space and the time were created. It's very surprising to think that there had not been any time before the Big Bang started. Can you imagine that one? So people say, what was there before that? There's nothing. It was there. Time started from that point. The space started from that point. material started emerging from that point. The stars were created, the planets started getting created, and 4,000 crores ago, when the earth started getting cooled and the right environment was created on the earth, water was formed, the first form of life, unicellular bacteria, cyanobacteria, they came into existence. That is the first sign and first form of life on earth.
মিস্টার পঙ্কজ ভোরা কি বললেন এবার তাই শুনবো।
Basic work is to work on the policy advocacy for our members. We work with Government of India, Government of USA, how the policy formation can help our members' business to grow. We have been providing many other services to our members. We conduct these kinds of workshops, seminars, other conferences and all that. So in continuation of this process, today our regional council, East India Regional Council has organized this program on Indo-US economic relations, now and looking forward. So I congratulate our regional president and his team for organizing this wonderful program. Though we are a non-profit making organization promoting bilateral trade, we are focused basically on the economic relations. But in 2016 and even before that has been happening, but specifically in 2016 when Modi government and Obama administration came together and they identified certain areas of common minimum program where both the governments can work for the growth of the business. In those areas were like infrastructure, manufacturing, financial technology, emerging technologies, climate change, women empowerment. So climate change was one of the subjects of our today's program, where Dr. Atanu Raha has enlightened us by his very valuable insight.
আজ এই পর্যন্ত। আগামী দিন আবার অন্য কোনো বিষয় নিয়ে আমরা আসব আপনাদের কাছে। আপনার মনের মতো খবর পেতে হলে অবশ্যই দেখতে থাকুন এবং শুনতে থাকুন কড়া খবর। আর হ্যাঁ, আপনি কিন্তু আমাদের চ্যানেলটি সাবস্ক্রাইব করতে ভুলবেন না, কিংবা আমাদের ফেসবুক পেজে কড়া খবর ফলো করতেও ভুলবেন না।